go back and redo it.
Oh, no. Oh, the blackbirds have started on the seeds.
Ooh, breakfast.
Brilliant.
Okay, so you ready, Rach?
Yeah.
Born ready. Okay, so in 3, 2, so in 3, 2, 1. G'day and welcome to the Killer Storyteller Podcast. I'm Christy Horn, your co-host, coming to you from Melbourne, Australia. And thanks for tuning in. As always, I'm joined by my UK buddy, crime queen, million copy selling author and all-round bloody legend, Rachel Lynch. G'day, Rach.
Hiya, Christy. Hello to everyone listening around the world. I'm joining you from a very, very hot London today. It's so nice being able to say that. I think it's going to hit 31. I feel like a radio DJ. Yeah, it's going to get to 31 today, guys. I'm so excited to dive into book 13 today with Christy. Book 13 in the D.I. Kelly Porter series, Cruel Truth. Oh, it's my second release of 2026 so far. And it came out in April this year.
Firstly, Rach, before we get into Cruel Truth, how you doing? And after the last episode, were you so honestly shared your cancer diagnosis and treatment? What kind of feedback and messages have you received from some of our listeners?
Oh yeah, it's been amazing, and loads of people saying, "Oh, thank you, for your honesty," and really being sort of really inspiring people going through the same, as well as messages from relatives and friends of people struggling too. And it's been really overwhelming. I'm so glad we did it, Christy. And it's I think it's really important. And a lot of people said what an important podcast it was. Giving me the impression that it isn't really spoken about in that way so much, maybe.
Yeah.
And I've just been absolutely blown away. And, my journey is still continuing. I've finished radiotherapy now. If you're on YouTube, you will see my lovely headwear.
Very nice.
It's far too hot in London for a wig today, so I've got my parrot hat on. So I'm a lot cooler. And sorry, you're going to have to cut this bit out, Christy. Chemo brain. Okay, where are we?
Did you want to start again? Or
yeah. Okay, so I'll start again. Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic, Chris. No, I won't start again because I really liked that bit.
Okay.
That first bit. So I'll just carry on. So finished radiotherapy, and I'm now starting immunotherapy for another 6 months. So, it's a long journey, but I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling alive, feeling as though, that chemo is behind me. Feeling strong, starting going to the gym, started doing yoga. So things are looking good. It's up and down. I have good weeks and bad days, but generally I really feel as though I'm sort of, I put a post on Instagram this week about emerging from my cancer hibernation, because Mike and I went into London for a night. And that's kind of how it feels. What about you, Christy? How's, all the messages that we've received?
Yeah. Well, firstly, I'm really glad to hear that. And I love seeing that you went into London and had a beautiful weekend away. And I honestly love hearing your updates. It's brilliant to hear how you're doing. The feedback, it's been incredible. And there's also been friends of mine saying that they've been inspired by that episode to go and have their mammograms. And you know what? To me, that is just so fantastic. And listening back to the episode, I actually got a bit emotional, and I've listened to it a couple of times because during the recording, I was like really conscious of not effing anything up or losing my shit or getting emotional. And I've watched it and I've listened to it and I could see where I did get emotional. I tried to keep it together. So I'm really glad that we did that episode too, Rach, and thank you for sharing. It's so personal.
And same, my daughter listened to it. My 21-year-old daughter listened to it, and she bought me a card, and she wrote in the card about how much my journey has inspired her and taught her, and that was so emotional. I just thought, as a mom, for your daughter to look at you in that way and to see you struggle, but see you. And she said in the card, make it any better, but I just want to say that I see you. You
Oh my
know, I
God.
see your pain, I see your struggle, and I see you taking it and not complaining, and things like that. It was just the most incredible card. So yeah, and I was the same as well when we were doing it. It was very much right. Let's talk about this, and it sort of flowed. Whereas listening back to it, it was a really impactful moment for both of us.
Yeah, definitely. Alrighty, Rach. Cruel Truth. The title says it all. And yes, sometimes the truth is really cruel. Sorry, but I'm not sorry for the puns, and I'm not going to stop. I just can't help myself. All right, let's go. Okay, this episode we are discussing book 13, Cruel Truth, because, okay, start again. This episode we are discussing book 13, Cruel Truth. Beauty Can Hide in the Darkest Deeds, your brand new release from April 2026.
And again, we have to say up front that we are not going to give away any spoilers. If you haven't read the book, we're not going to share endings, but we will be discussing themes and the characters and parts of the storyline. So wherever you are, if you're at the beginning of the series, or you've actually read Cruel Truth, brilliant, welcome on board. But we're not going to give any of that away. If you're reading along with us, that's brilliant. But we're not going to spoil anything. We hope we're not going to spoil anything for you by talking about some of the themes and characters. We'd love to hear from you wherever you are. And wherever you are in the series. So drop us a line. Just remember that you can dip into the Kelly books wherever you like. Christy started on book 5. People start on first act, the prequel. Some people have started with Cruel Truth. So they all stand on their own. But we won't give away any shocks or surprises. So a really short summary of the origins of this one then. We like to do this at the beginning of our pods. So it was written in 2025. Between releasing standalones. So I'd had a massive break from Kelly. So it felt really strange. It felt like writing a standalone. It was published in April 2026, so brand new. I was at home when I wrote it, Googling conspiracy theories. What a Alice in Wonderland hole to go down.
Oh
I
my
had
God.
so much fun. It only took me about 2 months to write, but it did need quite a lot of editing and pulling around because, and a lot of readers have said this in their reviews, that it is a really complex story. So, sometimes stories can be global, like Bold Lies, that sort of thing. They've got big reach, like Dark Game. Some stories can be really small, and be in just one setting, like a house or around one lake. This one had a global reach, so it made it quite complicated because the main theme was Big Pharma.
Yep.
And how, let's face it, they get away with anything. And yes, it's this sort of dichotomy about, yes, they save hundreds of thousands, if not millions of lives every year. But boy, do they make billions in return. So it's about that balance. What season are we? Well, it's summer. And that was really important because it's set around 2 of my most favourite lakes, Rydal and Grasmere. And so the scene, the setting for this one was absolutely stunning. Rydal and Grasmere are beautiful. Christy, I'm going to take Christy there one day for sure.
Yep, I'm going into those caves. Those stepping stones that go into the caves.
The stepping stones. So now we know a bit more about the origin. So now we know a bit more about the origins of the book. It's now over to Christy to give us that famous 100-word summary of Cruel Truth. This is my favourite bit.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, here goes, Rach. On a perfect summer evening in the Lake District, Beauty hides something deadly. In Cruel Truth, a pregnant young woman is found dead beneath a boat on Rydal Water, and within hours, a second body falls from the heights of a luxury hotel, her brother. D.I. Kelly Porter is drawn into a dark world of billion-dollar wellness empires. dangerous supplements, corruption, control, high tech, and secrets that are buried deep. As the investigation tightens, so does the threat. Witnesses vanish, truths are silenced, and Kelly, her team, and Ted are targeted. Because this isn't just murder, it's control. And the deeper she digs, the more terrifying the truth becomes.
Awesome.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
God, I love that too. It's so good. Oh my God.
So this area is one of my favourite parts of the Lake District. Rydal and Grasmere, just a bit of geography, about the area and why I chose it. I mean, the caves are amazing. And so, that sort I always wanted every year we go to the caves, and I always think, right, I've got to set one of my books in here. And there's also it's like a little sort of that area is like a little sort of nest, and it's surrounded by some of my favourite fells, and some of them are in there. So Helm Crag, for example, is nicknamed the Lion and the Lamb. That's in there,
and it's in the book.
Because from the road, it looks like a big lion sat in front of a tiny little lamb. But then as you go around the road, some people say it looks like somebody playing a piano, or, people like to anchor, places in the Lake District with little, local names. So that's this. I just wanted to say that this area is really special to me.
And for our international listeners, a fell is like a small mountain, right?
Yeah. So, if you live somewhere where, you've got huge mountains, like the Rockies, for example, or, where is it where are your closest mountains?
The high country in Victoria. So they're really high.
What sort of really high? What would you say?
2,000 plus meters?
Yeah. So a bit like the Alps in France, isn't it? Yeah. So in the Lake District, our highest mountain is about just over 1,000 meters. So, compared to a lot of places in the world, they're small. But the beauty of the Lake District is that they start from the bottom. There's no foothills because it's not big enough. So you can see the mountain spring up from the lake up to the top. That's what the beauty of that area is. So, it's not like a huge, vast range. Where you've just got peak after peak after peak. You've got one at a time, which is lovely, and that's. You've also got the combination of the lakes and the forests and the mountains as well. So it's very aesthetic.
Beautiful.
I think that's
yeah. Thank you so much for that extra explanation. So it's great for us to understand the geography of it, because it's a different word to what we use here in Australia. All right, first up, Rach, I just have to say how much I enjoyed this book, and it is so clear to me you had fun writing it, because I have a number of hilarious quotes, and I just love this book so much. It's an absolute solid 5 stars from me, okay?
I think I might need to stop being careful, Christy. I'm just putting too much comedy in these crime. They're supposed to be crime books, but it's getting brilliant reviews. People are saying it's their favourite Kelly book yet.
Oh, that must be so fantastic to hear, Rach. Really unreal. Okay, we talk a lot on the podcast. We talk about this a lot on the podcast because it's getting crikey. Steve Irwin's just popped in. Crikey.
Crikey, mate.
Okay, we talk about this a lot on the podcast because it's becoming such a signature of your books, taking these breathtaking Lake District locations like Grasmere and Rydal Water and layering them with something deeply sinister underneath. It's one of the things you do so brilliantly, is that contrast between beauty and brutality, light and dark, and the postcard perfect scenery. But this constant undercurrent of dread, Rach, what is it about putting darkness into beautiful places that makes crime fiction hit even harder? Sorry for the long question, but I couldn't help it.
Yeah, I just love it. I mean, even I can't help myself now. I'll go to the Lake District. So Mike and I are going to the Lake District in 2 weeks, and I am beyond excited. So we are staying in Keswick for 2 whole weeks.
Great.
yeah, when we're going for that long, it means that we can just look at the weather and go, right, this today we'll do this. It's not going to be rushed. We can take our time, and it's also a first real test of my fitness as well to see, how I'm recovering. But it is so important to me to anchor stories in the right place and have a sense of place figure so importantly in the story, which is why I put the Kelly books there in the first place. And a lot of people who read them say that the lakes has grown as a main character in the books. And that's why, for me, the authenticity of the locations is so crucial. I can still have a bit of artistic license, I still make little things up like cafes and beaches and roads and the tourist spots giving life to the setting. Maybe the amount of time it takes Kelly to get somewhere, for example.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to take a little bit of artistic license, and I do get pulled up on it sometimes by local Cumbrians, which is quite funny. But every single setting is one that I love, and I have a real powerful memory of sitting there and looking around and absorbing the beauty, but also imagining what might be hiding there. So like I said, I can't help it. I go now and I'll be walking down a really isolated path. There won't be anybody around for miles, and I'll think, oh, okay, that's a good place for a body. Don't you do that, Crystal? When you're in a beautiful part of Australia, don't you go, oh, I could just murder somebody here? That's my default thing. Oops. There's just endless opportunity. The setting is just as important as the plot in these books, I think, because the mountains, the lakes, the rocks, the forests, there's just endless opportunity to create drama and danger hiding around every crag. Crag is another name that we have for the fells. It's in the isolation, the wilderness, the raw power of that scenery.
Yeah. And you just said something back there where you're talking about the lakes has grown as a main character in the books. And I 100% agree with you there. Absolutely, most definitely. And we have one book coming up where it's not in the book as much, and I kind of missed it. So I think that's Little Doubt.
First Fact, it was the prequel, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Then Little Doubt was the urban one, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that's coming out next after this one.
Yeah.
So I find that absolutely so fascinating, Rach. But you also write that tourism in Cumbria is worth around £3 billion a year, which is just enormous when you think about it. But do you feel that scale when you're writing, that these Lake District settings like Grasmere and Rydal Water aren't just beautiful backdrops, but real communities with a lot happening beneath the surface? So, for instance, you use a real cafe in this book, because I Googled it. I think I've signed up to a newsletter.
Oh, the Fairyland Cafe is absolutely gorgeous. It is like it just what it says. It's a little fairyland. So you have these beautifully painted wooden caravans, the old-fashioned wagon type with the big wheels and the canvas over the top. So you've got those dotted around. You've got these beautifully wooden painted rowing boats there as well, which you can hire out. And I contacted the owner and I said, look, this is what I do. This is, what I'm thinking. I'd really like to use your cafe. But tongue in cheek, it is where the first body's found. Is that okay? And he came back and he said, yeah, brilliant. Do it. Put us in there.
All of the boats are named, aren't they? They've all got special names. Oh, yeah,
they are. And if you follow him on Instagram, if you follow the Fairyland Cafe on Instagram, he always puts pictures of the beautiful rowing boats with the backdrop of the fells around Grasmere, because his cafe actually goes down to the water. It's so pretty.
Yeah. And it is. It's gorgeous.
But tourism is really important for my stories as well, because, you've got this transient population coming in and out of the Lake District as well, which is really hard. It makes it really hard for the police to track criminals.
Yeah.
And also there's part of me championing that tourism too, because it's a little slice of my childhood, and I just want more people to see the beauty that I grew up with. So, you know, if
Yeah.
people are attracted to that area, not because of the murders, but, but because of the beautiful scenery, then that's brilliant too. Although I did
Yeah.
have someone contact me once saying that, I think I've said this before, um, I didn't realise that Cumbria was like that. I'm not sure I
The
want to go
same.
now.
Oh, I love that. It's so funny. Early on in the book, in chapter 2, and for the first time in the series, we get a really proper description of Eden House. This is where D.I. Kelly Porter and her team work from. It's a red stone, 4-story building. It once was a grand Victorian lodge for a wealthy family built from Cumbrian slate. And it instantly felt iconic to me, Rach, almost like another character in the story, right? Was it important for you at this stage in the series to finally give us readers a deeper sense of the place Kelly and the team work from? Because I've got to tell you something funny after you answer your question.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I think each book gives an opportunity to explain a little bit more about Kelly and a little bit more about her and a little bit more about the Lake District, whether it be where she works, where she lives, who she loves, her team, because I can't fit everything into one story. So I've got to take a little bit of a little bit at a time.
Yep.
And her team was really important in this story. So it just felt natural describing where she's based. I don't have like a list of things that I'm going to put in each book. It just comes naturally as I'm writing
Okay.
it. And if it fits, I'll do it. And it's like in each Kelly, a different member of her team, you know, is more important than another. So, you know, what in the early ones it was Will Phillips, if you remember him. Then it was Rob Shawcross. Kate is usually a
Yep.
stalwart figure, you know, her 2IC and becoming a very, very good friend of hers. Then you've got,
Yep.
you know, Emma and Dan and now Finn. So each book really brings out different things of different aspects of her life. And so in some books I'll spend a lot of time describing, you know, Kelly's house
Yes. Yep.
on the river near Ullswater. Yeah.
Yep. And out on the
What was
back
your question?
patio and the deck chairs or whatever they've got out on there. What I did, Rach, and I think I might have sent this to you in a text a little while back, I put in all of the descriptions of Eden House into AI. And then I said, design, you know, here is the description of Eden House. And I put in all of the words out of the book. And it designed the police station for me.
Yes, I loved
Remember
it.
that? It was
Amazing.
when I looked at it, I was like, "Yes, you bloody nailed it, ChatGPT. Thanks, mate."
And did I send you the one of Kelly? I said to
No.
ChatGPT, "Oh my god, I'm going to have to I'll send that to you. We'll
Okay.
put it on social media because I basically said." Give me a visual of D.I. Kelly Porter from the Rachel Lynch series set in the Lake District, and yeah, it looks amazing. I'll send
Oh,
it to you.
did it nail it?
I loved it. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it'll be really interesting to see whether whether it matches what you have in your head, because I think for me it pretty much nailed it.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Oh, it's so scary, right?
I know for everyone listening, we'll put it on social media as well.
Yeah, we will. But I have to say, Rach, Cruel Truth didn't scare me because of the murders and the deaths. It scared me because of the wellness industry, the influence culture, the experimental tech. It all felt believable. Can you please talk us through your research on this one? And at what point did you realize, hang on a minute, this isn't fiction anymore? This could genuinely is happening or could happen.
Yeah, absolutely. That that's what terrified me as well. I mean, I loved the research for this. I love going down, you know, dark holes and then one thing leads to another. I'm like, oh my God, suddenly I find myself, you know, with this plot and I'm thinking, it's too unbelievable. It's too complex, but it's already happening. It does happen.
Frightening.
Before my cancer diagnosis, I was a bit of a gym bunny and my personal trainer, who is acknowledged in the acknowledgements of this book, Ryan, We used to chat all the time about my plots. We had such a laugh, so the hour of my PT would go by really quickly, go, oh, do me a set of those. And halfway through I'd be giggling because he'd be giving me a new plot for a character I told him about. And his brain is like mine. So he was the one who said, what about, because we were talking about the drug industry and the supplement industry. And he said, what about, a drug that induces rage? It was like one random fitness session, and that got me thinking. And I'd already started to research, the industry. And so, and then I think I've mentioned on another podcast, Christy, that, I actually was a personal trainer for many years. Because Mike was in the army and we moved around. And so I kind of metamorphosized every time we moved. I was a history teacher and then that didn't work. And then I became a personal trainer and a sports massage therapist. So, my background in the fitness industry really informed this book as well. So making up the name of the drug, what it did to the body, what's possible with current technology and what's not. Scarily, it's all very viable.
Yep.
So that's what I created the story around. And then it just seemed natural to go into conspiracy theories because obviously there are people who believe, that we have been sitting on cancer cures for decades and it's a plot by Big Pharma not to release them because they make so much money out of keeping us poorly. So, you can't just dismiss them. You've got to appreciate that there is quite a sizable portion of people who actually believe that COVID was a big hoax to poison us all and things like this. So I went down this other rabbit hole of conspiracy theories then, and then about where all that money goes to, and then who rules the world. Oh my God! And it just went on and on and on. And I mean, are you a fan of conspiracy theories? I could talk about them for hours.
I switch between yes and no. Working in universities and working market research pretty much my whole career, it's evidence-based and you've got the research there in front of you. But then there's this other side of me. It's like, yeah, nah, we never went to the moon. Right? Did you see that flag wasn't flapping, or the footmarks on the moon does? I mean, that's just bullshit.
Hold on a minute. How did they get that buggy in that little tin can?
How?
Yeah, exactly.
No, Jesus. I had a follow-up question for you, but you've kind of answered it for me. But FairGro and Youth Blast are the supplements that you've got in the book. They are great product names. And when every time I read FairGro, I can't even speak. I'm spitting everywhere. Sorry. But here in Australia, we say, "Oh, fair go," or "fair sucker the sav," or whatever you say. So it made me laugh every time.
Oh no!
Like, oh, fair go, mate.
Oh well, I'll take my kicks where I get them. That made you laugh.
But I've also thrown out all my supplements: the krill oil tablets, vitamin D, gone.
Oh no! Oh, mind you, I totally sort of thought all of my supplements as well with my diagnosis. And the irony is that I wrote this book before I was diagnosed with cancer. So I was researching all of this and I was digging deep into Big Pharma. And then when I got diagnosed, my friend, this round where I live, north of London, all the way up to Cambridge, is like Big Pharma territory. So we've got GlaxoSmithKline around here. We've got Roche. We've got friends who work for both of them. And that's where my drugs came from that saved my life. So, I'm like, I've just written this book on conspiracy theories. And yet it's their drugs that killed a 3.5 centimeter tumor. So it's personal to me. It's also made me think a lot deeper. But it also reminded me when I was writing it, it's my agent who said this on the first read, was the Manchurian Candidate. Can you remember that? The Richard Condon novel. I mean, it's a really old novel. The original novel was about the Korean War, but then the films, I think my favourite one is the Meryl Streep, Liv Schreiber one.
Yep.
And that's like got a political slant, hasn't it? Whereas the one before that, I think there was a version in the 1960s, and that was about the Vietnam War. But this idea of mind control, it's a great fictional tool. I think
Yeah, yeah.
I had fun with it.
You had what, sorry?
I had fun with it.
Yeah, oh, clearly, I read that. Um, it's so frightening and bloody scary. So yeah, great movie, by the way. Okay, now this book is jam-packed with some really brilliant, memorable characters, and in fact, some of my faves. And what I loved is that even the smaller players felt really fully formed, Rach, like they've walked in from a real world beyond the page. So, for example, from Melvin, I said Melbourne then, keeping that one in.
Yeah.
And his heartbreak, and to Tilda's coldness, Jamie and Paul spiraling in completely different ways. The influences. I'm so curious, Rach, how did you build characters with that much depth in a fast-moving crime novel without losing the pace of the story? Because it just keeps it all together.
Oh, amazing, Christy. That's such a compliment. Thank you. I don't know. I just imagine them doing what they do, and how they would react to something, as what, like, so for example, as shocking as what happened to Jamie. And I kind of draw on what I see. When I'm writing, I visualize everything. And so when I see a character, I look at their background, the way they might talk, the way they might dress, the way their social media might look, the way they interact with people. So in October, I've been invited to do a masterclass on creative writing in a Cumbrian castle. That sounds like a fictional line, doesn't it? I know. I'm so
I want to
excited.
come. I want to come.
So obviously I'm going to do a bit on characterization, and the thing about characterization is what is in the person's orbit. It's not about just describing what the person is. It's much more helpful and visual and emotive, I think, for a reader to understand how a character behaves and what music they listen to, who they love, who they hate. I think you get a lot more from that, rather than just saying, David wears a blue shirt and he's got brown eyes and he walks with a cane. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. I think I've just learned how to do that over the books.
It's so clever. It's so clever, because instantly you can visualize them in your mind's eye. You can,
I love that.
Yeah, particularly with the two main characters there, Jamie and Paul. Yeah, you described them so well. But anyway, we're going to get to our most favourite characters a little bit later on. But then there's Sandy Cooper. Honestly, she storms into this book like a chain-smoking wrecking ball. She's hilarious. She's manipulative. She's ruthless, completely self-absorbed. And when I was reading it, I couldn't wait for her next scene to come about. Did you know from the beginning that she was going to be such a scene stealer? And did she behave exactly as planned, or did she start taking over the book while you were writing it?
Yeah, I think that things. So in the first draft, I kind of just get down a story, because over the years I've learned that if you want to produce a perfect first draft, then you're never ever going to finish it. Because you just go round and you don't know the world enough. World building is really, really hard, and you don't know your world almost until you've finished your first draft. So I get down all of my ideas and I limp through this story. I get through these 60 chapters. It's like dragging a lead ball behind me, right, next chapter. And I get to the end and I'm like, right, now I know my world. Oh, I like her. Right, I'm going to do this with him. And then so the magic happens on the second and the third runs, I think. Does that make sense? So You've got this skeleton, and then only when you know your world and it's all fixed together in the right place can you then go back and put the flesh on.
Right.
And then you start inserting your red herrings, and I start playing around with people who pop off the page. And Sandy was one of those people who popped off the page,
Sure
because of
did.
her age, the way that she, the way she speaks, the way she's totally in control. But then later on, maybe I thought, wait a minute, I need to be a bit more realistic. This person needs to be a little bit vulnerable too.
Okay.
So, as it's really sort of a movable feast. That's all I can say about it, really. But she's smart, she's sassy, she doesn't give a shit about how she comes across. She gets the men, even though she's in her 50s. She's got nothing to lose, menopausal, single, chain smoker.
Yeah.
Go girl.
Yeah, I could totally relate to the menopause that bit there, 100 million bazillion percent. But after, just a side note here, after reading so many of your books, I can't think of any character that's exactly the same.
Oh, I love that.
That's
Thank
really,
you.
really clever. So, like Tilda, I've never come across another Tilda, or Sandy, or oh,
Jaden.
oh Jaden. Nah, so you that's so clever to keep on, keep on building the characters.
I
Where are
love
we
that.
up to?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Whilst we were discussing characters here, Rach, chapter 16 with Melvin absolutely stopped me in my tracks. In the middle of all the conspiracy, corruption, murder, suddenly we're sitting with loneliness, dementia, grief, and memory loss. It's so heartbreaking. Why was it important for you to slow the story down there and make the readers sit in that sadness? Because as a reader, it did it to me. So I'm really curious to hear what other people think about that as well. Because when I got to that chapter, it was just like, oh my God, I actually had to read it twice. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I think that when I'm reading fiction, and when I'm looking at a painting or listening to a piece of music, I think the important thing is that you feel something. And so I try and I try and push a character to the natural limit of their personality, but at the same time making, but hopefully stimulating the reader to feel something for them. So that gives you the whole range of emotion, because hating somebody or having a terrible reaction to somebody is feeling too. So I want people to not just feel comfortable the whole way through the story. I want the stories to actually stretch the boundaries of what we feel in life. We don't just feel one thing, do we? We go
Mm.
up and down, and we meet people that are like that are really sad. And so yeah, the light and shade thing is really important. And otherwise, what's the point? Because the other thing with Melvin is that I wanted to carry on that theme of what making people realize what chemicals do to your brain,
Yeah.
and what the end result is, that it is for that on a really, really personal level to just one person. Because obviously big pharma deal with billions of people, whereas I wanted my story to just be about individuals. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. That was a really showstopper. Oh, I'll take that bit out. Another thing that I loved in this book is that Kelly isn't solving murders. She's not just solving murders. She's being pressured from every direction to back off. Her team is threatened. Her boss is nervous. Powerful people are circling. Did you want this case to feel like the moment Kelly realizes the enemy isn't just the killer, it's an entire system?
Yeah, this is really important. I wanted Kelly to be put in danger at some point and told to back off by people who were skimming off the top and benefiting from the corruption that's in the book. So it seems to me like this has always been going on, this type of corruption, because, where there's organised businesses that make money, greed is always going to slip in and corruption is always going to slip in. But it appears to be so widespread at the moment. I don't know whether that's just because of the media, and because of social media, everyone talks so openly about it now. It's probably always been going on. It just seems to be, lots of stories at the moment about billionaires having so much money and being above the law. It's a big thing at the moment.
Yeah, it is. And I just absolutely have to share this. I really enjoyed the way you weave history and real world detail into this book. So, for example, from the Wordsworth references and the legend of Skelwith Bridge and the hiding hole in room 13 in the hotel, through to the more contemporary touches like the Penrith and Lakes Hospital being under pressure, with patients waiting in wheelchairs and on trolleys. How important is it for you, Rach, to ground a thriller in both that sense of history and very real present day reality?
Yeah, I do try and do that every time. I think that, I have chosen really meaty themes, like knife crime and, the conspiracy in Bold Lies and money laundering in Dark Game, bullying in Bitter Edge.
Yep.
So yeah, I do tend to be drawn to these meaty sort of issues, and I think that sometimes I can be stimulated to write a story about something that I might have just read on the news, and it's what makes it real for me. Because if it isn't real for me, then I would lose interest.
Okay.
And readers are sharp; they can tell if an author hasn't enjoyed writing the book, I think. So I like those little details to be sprinkled along the way, like history, and they're bits of me really as well. My experience as a history teacher, being a Cumbrian myself. So the little details about the fells and then studying English at uni is where my love of the Lakeland poets came from, which we talked about when we talked about Deep Fear.
Yeah.
Forget the names of my own books.
Yeah. I can picture that one with the church on the front cover.
Yeah. And, that's what makes stories interesting, I think.
Yeah. You just said something really interesting there. I'm just going to go back to it if that's okay. You talked about you can tell whether the author's lost interest or not enjoying writing. I don't get that ever throughout your books. And in fact, this book, Cruel Truth, it's off the bloody Richter, mate. It's just so good. I feel like I know you and the book so well now, but I could just read and feel how much fun you were having writing this. And so many times I was pissing myself laughing. So, for example, Joe Foley, also known as the Digger Man, for the first time you've incorporated a podcaster into the mix, and his topic is conspiracy theories. But I'm not sure I like his ending though, but I'm kind of honoured that there's a podcaster in the books now.
Yeah. Now I need to make a thoroughly good and noble podcaster. Do you know any? Maybe an Australian legend who lives near Melbourne. What do you think, Christy?
Yes, absolutely. And let's call her Kirstine Holmes. Do you like that one? I get called Kirsty all the time. I bloody hate it. But Kirstine Holmes, let's chat about that one.
Sounds like you're off Kath and Kim. Kirstine, do you see what she did to me, Mum?
Because I reckon that's totally got legs. So yeah, let's chat off mic because that's a whole nother podcast. But what I really respected about this ending in Cruel Truth is that you don't wrap everything up neatly. The final chapters and the scenes in this book come together so well, but not neatly. People are damaged beyond repair and the truths come out too late and justice feels really messy. Was that your way of saying that in the real world, exposing corruption doesn't always lead to a clean or happy ending? That's how it felt to me, Rach. And plus I was really pissed off too.
Yeah, that's exactly that. It felt wrong to have everyone made accountable, because it just simply wouldn't happen, would it? And I was pissed off. I wanted to, make it all neat and wrapped up, but powerful people are not held to account like the rest of us, and that is the whole point of the story.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Okay, some parts of this book were quite challenging to read and to keep up with, especially around the tech. And there were moments I didn't fully understand it until the stories and they were revealed a bit later on, like particularly with Melvin, Paul, and Sandy. But it also made me realize how close some of this technology feels to reality. And honestly, that's what makes it so frightening.
Yeah, and I think I I was pretty chuffed that I was able to pull off this story. To be honest with you, because there were moments when I was writing it that I thought I can't pull this off. There's just too many in a space of 300 and odd pages, 60 chapters. There's just not enough room to pull off this big global
Yeah.
conspiracy.
Yeah.
So I did have to. It was really a question of balance, and I think that a lot of people have said, this is a really complex story, but I got it in the end, and
Yeah.
when I got it, it hit me between the eyes.
Yeah.
So I'm really chuffed with that.
Yeah. It all kind of falls into place. The storyline falls into place, whether you like the ending or not. It's another thing,
Yeah,
but yeah, it kind of really pissed me off. But you know what? This episode has just flown because I could happily keep chatting, and maybe we have to have another follow-up or some bonus Q&A with you because we haven't nearly got through all of my notes and questions, Rach. I've got so many more, but I guess we have to wrap it up someplace. Did you see my copy of the book? I've got little notes and tags popping out everywhere, and
yeah, I
um,
love that.
after I finish reading the book and I go and type up all of my notes, it's like, Rachel, you just must look at my note, not the show notes, but the other notes, like pages of notes.
I love it though, because it's like chatting about a real world, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So why don't we dive into a few fun and thoughtful reflections on Cruel Truth? So we've got a couple of little speedy questions so we can give you guys a little bit more information about the book. So let's go to the first one here, Rach. I had to Google this. Was there anything in the book that you had to stop and look up?
Oh yeah, loads in this one. Making up the components of neurohydroxy 14, which, if you're interested, is glutamate, hydroxy 11, and androstenedione 3. None of those exist, but the names do, just not quite in that combination. I also had to check who said give the masses bread and circuses. I wasn't quite sure if it was Cicero, but actually it turned out to be Juvenal. The actual meaning of mRNA, because obviously coming out of COVID, that is
right.
something that we're all been talking about. But what the acronym means. So messenger ribonucleic acid. And then the other one was Milton William Cooper, which is quite a scary story if you go down that rabbit hole. He's the original conspiracy theorist.
Okay, I'll check
What
that one
about
out.
you, Christy? What did you Google?
Okay, I've got a couple here. First of all, Murray Mints, Skelwith Bridge, Rydal Caves, and I've Googled them all and had a good look at those. And also, I think I said before, I've signed up to the Fairyland newsletter, or I looked at buying some tea in beautiful canisters. They've got like a whole heap of stuff you can purchase.
Fantastic.
Yeah, really, really cool. All right, tell me your best character and why. Who stole the show for you?
Okay, for me, it's Angie. She risks everything. She knows the dangers, but has the courage to use her artistic talent to leave clues. And that reminded me a little bit of Gabriella in Dark Game.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it was Sandy. I just absolutely loved her. And also Angie as well. And we don't see her at all right until the very, very ending. Or we don't hear from her, but we're hearing from a dead character, which was really unique.
Yeah.
Hey?
So, Christy, your worst character, in a good or a bad way, who did you love to hate?
Okay, I love to hate Hank. And I hated the way that he could just turn his charm on and off. And I liked his suits, but the the reference to Hank's suit with the the strawberry swirl of blood now looks like barista coffee.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
When the blood dried, it kind of went a bit coffee coloured. So what about you, Rach?
So for me, it was Tilda Dent, vile, cowardly, pampered, privileged. But what I really don't like about her is that she had the power to stop all of this, but she chooses to betray Jamie and Angie, and she takes the easy way out.
Yeah. What about your favourite quote or scene in the book, a moment that stuck with you the most?
Okay, so I've got two, I think. So the first one was on page 19, where it says the supplement industry is as dirty as the arms trade.
Yeah.
I love that one. And then what really stood out to me was page 27, where the body bag zip sounded like an old 50cc motorbike. And then on page 43, I just loved it. It was a sweet moment when Kate says she wants to adopt Ted.
Yeah. The motorbike reference was really funny because that also refers back to oh my God, first act. You talk about her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the zip sound.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay,
Your favourite quote?
Mine was chapter 16 with Melvin Stone. I talked about this a little bit before. It was absolutely heartbreaking and it made me stop in my tracks. So that really hit hard, that one.
Wow.
Okay, give us, how about Kelly Porter? A favourite moment for Kelly. What was her standout scene for you, Rach?
I think we have chosen the same one here. I think my favourite Kelly Porter moment is when she whacks the intruder with Ted's cane. But also, I think in this one, for me, it's really her instinct to ask the right questions and seek out the people who swim against the tide to get to the bottom of everything. It's her nose in this one. And on page 127, it says she always had a great affection for loners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also picked the same thing, and it totally cracked me up when she clocked him over the head with the walking stick. I was so gripped in that whole scene, that whole chapter there, where it was really frightening because her team is being targeted as well. But also there's a final scene in the house with Johnny. No spoilers, but I love that Johnny's back in the storyline here.
Awesome.
Okay, we're talking about links and references to previous books, and there actually are a few in Cruel Truth, Rach?
Yeah, I think because there's so many books in the series now, these links just jump in, and then I just think, well, I'm going to put that in because it doesn't matter if you haven't read all the books. If you have, then you'll know, and there's great affection and nostalgia there.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, it doesn't matter.
No,
so
that's right.
Museum of Childhood is in there. That's from first act. Craig Lockwood's in there.
Yep.
He's popped up a few times. The Corinne Boulder case from London is in there. And Colin Day from Dark Games in there. So I quite enjoyed doing that.
Yeah. And also Matt the Twat also gets a mention in this one too. So good old Matt the Twat.
Matt the Twat gets a mention.
Oh, all right. We're nearly at the very end of this podcast. However, we've got a massive list. So strap in, guys. Something funny, right? It could be from the book or behind the scenes. Give us a laugh. All right, you go first.
Should we do one at a time?
Okay, cool. All right, I'm just going to – I have got so many here. I'm only going to read out the ones that are highlighted in yellow.
Okay. So mine is a line from Sandy. I'm never giving up nicotine. It cures cancer. Kate at one point says, influences. Good God, that's all we need.
Yeah, you can just see her saying that one.
Millionaires were so last year.
All right, here's one from me. Just right at the front of the book, Kelly's deadpan reaction. Can somebody bag this squirrel? So it's when Kelly Porter is, trying to get the evidence off where they found the dead body, and also they found a dead squirrel.
Well, I chose Skippy the squirrel as well because after they'd bagged him, they called him Skippy, didn't they? And so when they were expecting the results, Kelly said, "What about Skippy? Have we got the results back yet?" And And then I love the bit where Emma says they're discussing generations, and Emma is obviously a lot younger than Kelly. And Emma says to Kelly, "I think you're tail end Gen X. You're sturdy."
Another thing that cracked me up was the wellness conference catering. They're on the menu is protein powder shots, banana blinis, yogurt sorbets, lettuce wraps, and ginger champagne cocktails. Basically, it's a satire on elite health culture gone wild. And I've got another funny one here for you. It's Sandy's observation of Ted, and she said, "Oh, looks like he's going to fall asleep any minute." She's got this really dry wit that totally
Sandy
cracked
has,
me up.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I,
I love the bit towards the end where I think it's Johnny that says, "You're invincible, Kelly Porter, but everyone needs a Murray mint."
yeah. There's another really funny bit. It's right at the front end of the book. There's absolute conference chaos after the body incident, and the body falls through the glass ceiling, and then there's a guy on hand, and his name's Lee, and he slips in the blood, and he slips onto the body that's not dead yet. And the poor guy who's dying.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
It's just like, whoa, 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 whoa.
I know. Oh.
Oh my God. And then there's another.
Go on.
Oh, there's another really funny one here that I've highlighted. It's at the back end, and it's around Kevin Streeting, and Kelly's been interviewing, and she says something like, "Kevin Streeting's behaving like he's had a lobotomy." A lobotomy. It was so good. It's just really blunt, dry, funny humor.
Brilliant. There's just so many moments in this one. I don't know what I was on. I think maybe because I hadn't written a Kelly for ages, I just thought, right, get this all down. Yeah, get this all out. It's like, have you heard that? You must know the Sweeney, do you, Christy? The cops
Yep.
and robbers type series set in London years ago. So I think it was Joe to Kelly on page 206. Who do you think you are? The fucking Sweeney. That's quite a common saying.
Yeah.
In Britain. Yeah. I don't know. There's just these little smatterings of dry humour. Because I think her and Kate have got a great sense of humour. And police have this banter. I've got to. I want to honour that. By talking about the chat that goes on. Like when the bodyguards, she's watching the footage of the bodyguards, and they're packing weapons, which they are entitled to do as for close protection. But they're not allowed to. You just wave them around in a hotel, and she's looking at their pockets, and she said, "There's no bulges apart from egos."
Yeah. Her wit really came through in this book. There's another really funny bit about when she's chatting to people she's interviewing, and she's got this sarcasm about the wellness culture, including the line about not being able to add peace into a smoothie.
Oh, yeah. I know. Because you'd think, wouldn't you, this is one of the things I wanted to do is, you'd think by the adverts that there was just miracles, drink or tablet, take this and you'll feel amazing. And they do almost promise it, don't they? It's just like a better life in a bottle.
Yeah.
Well, Christy, that brings us to the end of another episode of the Killer Storyteller podcast with me, Rachel Lynch. And we really hope you've enjoyed diving into this book with us today. That was a humdinger.
Oh, I like that. And next up, we're reading Little Doubt. It's book 7 in the D.I. Kelly Porter series. So this is your official 4-week heads up to get stuck into it. And trust me, it's one of my all-time faves. Until I read Cruel Truth, that's right up there. So it's absolutely fantastic.
Love that. And don't forget, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you've enjoyed this episode, share it with a fellow crime fiction fan.
Great idea, Rach. Hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. We're also on Instagram, YouTube. Come and join us there and say g'day. Alrighty, Rach, this was another killer ep done. Did you enjoy this one as much as I did?
Oh, loved it, Christy.
Same here. I did too. And I have got so much more to ask. I seriously do. We might need to have a
I
bit
think
of a
we need,
follow up.
yeah, we might need to do part 2.
Yeah. Oh, alrighty, that's it for us. Over and out for now. Until next time, enjoy reading, and don't forget we're up to Little Doubt. So until next time, we'll see you later. Bye, Rach.
Bye everyone. Bye everyone. Bye Christy.